In my previous video, I was talking about the benefit aspect of public benefit within the charities law. And in this video, I'm going to continue with this discussion by talking about the public aspect. So moving on from the benefit part to specifically talking about the public part now. Now, the legal test is that in order for a purpose to satisfy the public aspect of the public benefit test, it must benefit either the public in general or a sufficient section of the public. So when determining whether or not a charitable purpose is for the public benefit, it must satisfy this benefit aspect, which I talked about already, and also this public aspect. And the public benefit test is that it must benefit either the public in general or a sufficient section of the public. So the public in general. So this is the first way a purpose can satisfy the public aspect of the public benefit test. A purpose benefits the public in general if its benefit extends to all members of society. So, for example, a purpose aimed at conserving an endangered animal benefits the public in general. So this extends to the purpose in general because the benefit is not limited to a certain category of people, it's for all of us. Religion and the public in general. The courts locate a religion's benefit in its secular side effects, in other words, the positive impact which religious doctrine has on the public at large. So the benefits of religious purposes similarly extend to the public in general. Now, the slides on religion from my last videos describe the challenges which the benefit requirement poses to religious purposes. Because it is impossible to prove whether faith and religion is beneficial per se, the benefit of religious purposes cannot be located in the faith of their adherents. Instead, the courts have had to seize upon the positive effect which religious doctrines, for example, encouraging such things as giving to charity, honesty, mutual respect, etc., had on a broader society in order to hold the benefit aspect satisfied in respect of religious purposes. In other words, as regards to the benefit aspect and how it plays out with regards to religious purposes, the courts will locate a religious benefit in its secular side effects. What this means then is that a religious purpose is beneficial only if it involves an engagement with the broader community, because it is only in this way that religious doctrine can be spread throughout the community and deliver a benefit. A religious purpose thus satisfies both elements of public benefit in the same way, by demonstrating that it involves a direct engagement with the community. Importantly, a religion which thus demonstrates its benefit as a result of the spread of religious doctrine throughout the community will also have demonstrated that this benefit extends to the public in general. So a religion that satisfies the benefit aspect will likewise satisfy the public aspect too. Now, let's contrast these two cases here of Gilmore and Coates with Neville Estates and Madden. So the importance of engagement within the community to the charitable status of religious purposes is illustrated in the different outcomes of these two cases. In the case of Gilmore, the purpose was to support a community of cloistered nuns. As the nuns were cloistered, they had no engagement with the wider community, and so this prevented the court from locating a benefit in the spreading of religious doctrine throughout broader society. So the purpose of supporting the cloistered nuns could not be held beneficial in the sense that they would then spread positive religious doctrine throughout society. So the court could not locate any benefit stemming from the purpose directly due to the fact that the nuns were cloistered and they were not free to mix with the wider society. And of course, as the court could not locate any benefit to the purpose, then there could not logically be any benefit to the public either. So the public aspect was not satisfied in this case. By contrast, in the case of Neville Estates, the purpose of the Catford Synagogue was held beneficial on the basis that those attending the synagogue would mix with the general public and so diffuse positive religious doctrine throughout society. And the benefit stemming from the synagogue's purpose was held to be benefit to the public in general. So one way a purpose can satisfy the public aspect of the public benefit test is if its benefit extends to the public in general, as is the case with religious purposes as we just saw. But this is not the only way in which a purpose can satisfy the public aspect. It can also satisfy the public aspect if its benefit extends to a sufficient section of the public. So let's take a look. A sufficient section of the public. The meaning of sufficient section of the public differs depending on the category of charitable purpose in question, and that is the charitable purposes within section 3 subsection 1. The usual rule applies to all categories of charitable purpose apart from purposes which 1. Prevent or relieve poverty, or 2. Advance education. So there is a usual rule which applies to all categories of charitable purposes, but this usual rule is amended in respect of purposes which 1. Prevent or relieve poverty, and is amended in a different way in respect of purposes which advance education. So there are 3 different sets of rules operating which govern what amounts to a sufficient section of the public. And this is what I'm going to be talking about over the next 2 or 3 videos. This is only meant to be a really quick video on an introduction to the public aspect of public benefit in the Charities Act. So I'm going to leave this video here for now, but if you have any questions at all about this video and any sort of preliminary questions about the public aspect, then do make sure you leave any questions or comments below and I'll get straight back to you. If you enjoyed the video, then make sure you give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for watching.